Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at Stop Time, the Financial Friday Night live stream, but now I'm calling it the Halloween edition because it's scary out here, ladies and gentlemen. October 31st, 2025. It's a Friday night. The spooks are out, and we're late night, almost the midnight Halloween edition. But again, there's lots to talk about. Anybody that watches this on the replay, you'll know what I am referring to. So, no gear tonight, but we're here. Hopefully, a few of you will still be up and here as well. And welcome to the SSN Nation Midnight Halloween Edition. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know it's another week of the stock market rising. S&P 500, the Dow Jones, everybody's doing great who invests in the stock market, as you should. Wealth building will stall in other areas, but that does not matter because you know, I know, and a lot of investors know the same big boy stocks, the Magnificent Seven. We know what they're doing. They're buying back their own shares of stock for the next 3 years. 2 years for some, 3 years for others, in the billions. So you throw $1 billion into the stock market, buying back your own shares of stock, and people like us buy some of those shares too. The price goes up. Nvidia over $200, as we predicted, as it was said by all the financial analysts. And here it is. You would have gotten a 20 to 25% appreciation of this stock, even if you would have purchased it 150, 160. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You have to pay attention. You know what's going on. It's easy to figure out how you can actually make some movement, make some money on the backs of the rich and wealthy and corporations. You have to do it because wealth building is stalling out. You want to take a risk and start your own business? I hope not, but I'm about to put a link down below. Let me see what's the first one. In the chat room, everybody, first things first, let's talk about something that can help you just in case. I'm going to go to Unstoppable Domain. The reason why it's crypto based and it takes the top 400 crypto. So therefore, if somebody wants to send you crypto, you know you don't have to give them the alphanumeric code. You guys realize this is a thing. All you have to do is get your .crypto or .bitcoin wallet or .x or .nft. The list goes on. You could have people send you crypto simply by giving them a name such as Stop Struggling Now .crypto, Stop Struggling Now .nft, SSN Lifestyle .crypto. That's right. You could have your own name and tell people if they're going to send you crypto, it doesn't matter as long as it's the top 400. You just give them your name .crypto, .nft, .bitcoin wallet, what else do they have? X. They have a bunch of dots. And you don't have an annual fee like a .com, .net, .org, and all the other BS. The Icon Group. The one-time payment, you own it for life. It's on the blockchain. How significant is that? Because nobody can block you. They can't call up the ISP and get you taken down. Not even the government. That's what's so beautiful about this. And As you know, technology improves over time. You can put videos and even create a small website on there right now. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. And a key word: how is $25, $20, $15? Black Friday's coming up, so there's going to be even another sale. Some cost more, of course, but the links are in the chat room, Unstoppable Domain, because that allows you to live worldwide anywhere you want. You're not restricted. Just keep that in mind. Now, let's get to the help, because it's Halloween out here and bad things are happening with the government. Thank God 2 judges said, "I'm sorry, Trump regime. You have to give people their SNAPs benefits November 1st." Can you imagine 42 million people not receiving their food assistance SNAP? 42 million. More than 10% of the population would not have received their SNAP benefits if these 2 judges did not try to intervene and say, "I'm sorry, you need to make sure these people get fed." In the greatest country on earth. Now, when you have the greatest country on earth withholding food assistance, the same country. All right. So, findhelp.org for the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's going to be in the chat room as well. Everybody that watches this on replay, you are in America. Let's go. Get your grants. Find that help out there, because government, the federal and state, have given this money to nonprofits. You need some help, put in your zip code, see if there's so many things that they can help you with that American citizens don't even know that's available to them. And in this trying time where we have one half of our government that wants to stop people from getting health care, from getting food assistance, throwing homeless in jail, which solves zero other than the jail getting more taxpayers' money, but it does not help when that person gets out, they're still homeless. And now what? Again, that is not a solution, except unless you want a prison industrial complex. And by the way, the United States houses the most criminals behind bars. And I use the term criminal loosely, because a lot of people, like a homeless person, it's criminal now to be homeless, I guess. And then you want to cut off food assistance. Then you want to cut off Medicare and Medicaid. You don't want to help. I'm like, hold up. This isn't helping by not helping Christians. Now, in the chat room, again, for everybody that needs a little help out here, you know, the hundreds of thousands of millions of people that have been laid off. 1.6 million people have been laid off every month this year, 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I know 80% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck during the month. So don't play with me right now, because I know 8 out of 10 people I'm going by, they're using their credit cards, because credit cards are at an all-time record high. This isn't rocket science out here. You have a government that's not trying to help us. So therefore, you have to do it yourself. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, but the rich don't have to. They're getting subsidies. They're getting tax cuts. They're getting tax breaks. Meanwhile, they're trying to take away any help you get. That's why you better start taking this very seriously, as I told people 6 years ago. One thing, 1 year, 2 months, ladies and gentlemen, is all you have. December 2026, if you don't have your debt in order, you don't have your credit score at 775 or higher, you don't have another bank account outside of the United States, you don't have a business or real estate or something, another entity outside of the United States, but the bank account is the most important. And we give you a lifeline when you have Unstoppable Domain, because that way you can receive money that way. Or if you have a Bitcoin wallet, Ethereum wallet, or any other wallet, that would be great to have. So are you guys getting the wealth stalling tactics that is happening right now? Do you guys understand? Let's just put this plain and simple. I have a phone here. This is a teeter-totter, right? If we have 300 million people across this whole spectrum, and all of a sudden I have 151 million, the teeter-totter starts going down. Then we have 200 million. Teeter-totter's getting more steep. What starts happening to everybody up here? They start sliding down, ladies and gentlemen. Capitalism, that's how simple it is. So when you don't want to take care of the bottom, people eventually start falling to the bottom, and that leaves only a few people at the top that can do control and have the money. While you're out here looking for work, they don't have a job for you. So you better start worrying about yourself, your loved ones, and your family, because there is no way out unless, of course, you prepare and make a plan for out. And that's what we try to get you here for. That's why this is called Stop Struggling Now. All right, the SSN Nation, by the way. Now, let's get into it. This is going to be short and sweet tonight because, of course, you want to get your debt reduced just like the big boys. So every live stream, I'm talking about it. You hit up Tracy, ladies and gentlemen. She's family. All right? You hit her up. Tracy.sharpe with an E at the end at moneyladder.com. They do debt resolution without you having to file bankruptcy, without you getting into debt collections. Just send her an email and ask her how can you. She'll send you whatever information she needs from you. You guys discuss it. It takes 1 to 2 years to get right. That's it. Instead of floundering about, call her up, get your debt in order, because that is not sustainable. They are going to punish people that are on debt. You think because the Federal Reserve sat there and said, oh, we're going to reduce the interest rate 0.25? No, that only reduces your bank account interest rate. So you're getting less interest on your money. And heaven forbid, if you have money in a bank account, have you lost your mind right now? Please. There's things out here like JEPQ on the stock market that can get you roughly a 10% return on your money. For good God Almighty, you can have a bond right now and it gives you 4%. Stop playing out here. You are going to be abused. The U.S. empire is a declining empire. That's why they are taking instead of giving. That's how you know. When they're taxing the citizens even more, like the Roman Empire, sooner or later, the citizens don't have any money to tax. 80% are living paycheck to paycheck. I think when the 2025 numbers come out, it's going to be 84 to 87%. In Canada, it's already 85%, just to give you an idea. It's a good thing that there's still 15 to 20% of the population that makes money and have disposable income, because soon as this gets another 5 to 10%, all of a sudden it's going to be very, very bad. And if you don't think businesses laying off people right now is happening, wait until 85, to 90% of the people can't buy from these corporations. That's right. It's going to happen. And because of the tariff scenario, tariff wars around the world, people have purchased from other countries. So now our companies in the United States, they're not selling as much overseas. And then the U.S. citizens don't have money to buy from them either. It's a lose-lose scenario that's heading our way. And the BRICS just made an announcement today. They are coming up with a currency to replace the US dollar instead of them all having their own separate currency as it's constructed right now. They're coming up with their own currency. I told you guys this was going to happen. This is not even rocket science, but I'm going to explain. Let's just say there's 9 billion people on the planet. If I have 5 billion of the people out of the 9.5 under my country's flag, that now means if all of us in BRICS decide to use one currency, we have more than half the world's population. The US dollar is only 54.6% in currency. The BRICS together has no more than 5%, but they have the population. And all they have to do is just say, we're never using the dollar again. We don't have to buy from America. We don't even have to buy oil from America because Saudi Arabia, Brazil, China, they're all in BRICS. Russia, they're all in BRICS. India, all in BRICS. They have the money, they have the oil, they have gold, they have the precious metals, they have the rare earth items. Do you understand where this is going, right? Good luck, Americans. So, you want to play around? Get your debt in order because you're going to need help. And guess what will always be on the menu? Debt, credit will always be allowed. That is one thing that America cannot get away from because as soon as debt is not allowed, it's game over. So they will always allow people to have debt. Regardless, because as the empire declines, people will be able to do, I breathe, and get loans in certain scenarios, especially homes because they cost more. And then I can turn this little loan note, a piece of paper that you just gave 10% down for on a $500,000 house, you gave $50,000 and somebody gave you a loan for $450,000 on credit. There's nothing exchanged except the rich guys. All they need is what, 10 of these? 10 pieces of paper of 450,000, that's $4.5 million on paper. And since America loves fake paper, they can just go to somebody and one of these fund guys and say, hey, man, I have AAA. Everybody pays on time. It's $4.5 million plus interest. So, you're going to get about $9 million. $9 million. If you take this off our hands, how much will you give us? And they might say, here's $2.5 million. And I would take the $2.5 million and go on about my business and let them try to collect for the next 30 years. You guys understand derivatives? I've been talking about this for a long time. What happens when people can't pay? Which is what's happening right now. What's going to happen? Pretty simple, right? You got to be ahead of the curve here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see who's in the house. It looks like Brian pays up. He's the late night. He's here. Mr. Dividend is out here doing the salsa dance because the weekly Yield Max ETFs were distributed today, depending on which brokerage company you have. But a nice earnings passively. And welcome to the SSN Nation Midnight Halloween edition. The boo, the scary edition, because the United States empire is crumbling right underneath our feet and rapidly. And money that helps people is being sucked out for the rich and powerful. And that's not going to leave much for the rest. All right, let's see his tagline. Happy day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and your family. Yes, it is. One of the reasons I wasn't able to come on tonight is because I was not doing Halloween. I was actually with my aunt trying to make sure she's progressing and everything's going great. And yes, she has been stable for over 30 days. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. That's right. Give it a one piece. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, I gotta say something because I was trying to get a video out. It looks like it's going to be a 5-part video. And these guys, when we were talking about Larimar City and Resort in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, well, there's this guy named Jamie Gruber that has excellent videos. And he's like, I say in my video, a homer of Dominican Republic. He lives there now. He hangs in Punta Cana Village, I guess. And he's friends with the CEOs and people that run the Claire HP offices. And their kids play together, go to the same school. They're same at some of the same events. So he went out there. So, he doesn't really know what happened before. He just thinks, oh, everything is going like they said. He doesn't realize delivery was supposed to be like 2 months ago. So, we're going to talk about that, but it's still going to be built. So don't worry about that. But I'm going to have fun. And the first part's going to come out tomorrow, and probably the second part's going to come out tomorrow. Probably the third part's going to come out on Sunday. Fourth part's going to come out on Sunday. Fifth part's going to come out on Monday. And we're going to talk about it on the live stream on Monday night. And I'll probably get some copyright strikes because I'm going to use some of his video. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right. We're going to make it interesting. We're making money in here. You're damn right. That's what we got to do out here. You guys got to do it. You can't sit by idly. You're going to have to do something. Tamara Larry, another investor, is in the house. Hopefully all's going well with you on this Halloween night, and welcome to the SSN Nation Midnight Halloween edition. We're trying to help people out here. The USA Empire, it's making it harder and harder for wealth building because unless you don't already have money coming in, it's very hard to start over, but it's not impossible. Everybody has an opportunity in America still, even right now. So again, very nice to see you. The tagline is hello all. Very simple, very nice. And again, hopefully you and your family's doing great. Brian P., we are making money in here once again. That's what we try to do. Hey, Eric, did you see the NEC robot for 20,000? No, I did not. But did you say NEC? Are we talking about NEC? The old, hold on, I got to Google this. Are we talking about the old, one of the best companies? Is this the NEC? This would be exciting if it was NEC. It is NEC. The computer tech company? NEC? They used to make monitors and some other electronics? No, I have not. This looks like it's very, oh, that's somebody else. That's not the partner type. No, I'm going to have to look that up. Let me know what you thought about it. Did you see it? What happened? 20,000. What does it do? Neo. Not NEC. It's NEC. But you mean Neo? Oh, they're in partnership with Neo? That would be awesome. But so what does it do? I mean, you know what? Let me just do this. NEC. Oh, okay. They're doing it on their own website. AI powered 5G. What is this? They got all kinds of things happening. All right, let me go find NEC robot. What's it called? Oh, hold on. Let me see. Is it called Neo? Oh, that's what you must mean. Okay, let's go see. No, that's not. It's not called Neo. Oh, yes, Neo home robot. Humanoid robot Neo. Yeah, okay. It's called Neo. I got you. Neo home. Okay, this is very interesting. Very, very interesting. And looks like somebody might be behind. Neo takes on boring and mundane tasks around the house so you can focus on what matters to you. Oh my, it really works. Helping. Okay. 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 You know what this means. I want to know if anybody actually has invested in NEC stock. And it's an AD. It's not even, are you kidding me? It's on the over-the-counter markets with an ADR? Are you kidding me? NEC Corporation is a Japanese multinational information technology and technology corporation. Are you trying to tell me these guys are back? From the brink of dead? This is incredible. This is incredible. I mean, this is incredible. October 16th. I mean, this has to be incredible. This stock was probably dormant for so long. I mean, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. It's an ADR that apparently they just started last year, this year, September 11th. It started 52-week high 1750. It's there now. 52-week low 1552. And they're using ADRs. Okay. The race is on, and NEC used to be off the charts. I guess they still are. They coming with it. And they're on the over-the-counter markets. I can't even believe this right now. NECPY over-the-counter markets. Yeah, at 1750, you got to get some of that. Okay, I have video. Hold on a second. This thing's walking around. Hold on. Hold on. This thing's bringing people drinks. What's going on? Is this for real right now? This is not AI. Clean bathroom. Oh no, we gotta look at this. This is awesome. This is awesome, Neo. This is awesome. They got him in a little like gear. This is funny. Oh, this is funny. Give your Neo a list of chores, schedule a time you want them done, and come back to a cleaner home every day. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Check your emails. I will. James Way, just on time in the Midnight Halloween edition. Welcome to the SSN Nation Midnight Halloween live stream. And James Way, can I count on you this evening? Hello, all. Great to be here. Too much tricking and not enough treats because the rent is too damn high. Invest. Oh, I knew he would come right through with it. I love it, man. Very, very good. Too much tricking and not enough treats because the rent is too damn high. Invest. Exactly. You have no choice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my, I'm going to have to get some of these ADRs of this and over the count. What is the over the counter price anyhow? Do they even have it or are they just straight up in ADRs? That's very interesting. 1750 is not out of line. And you know what's very interesting about this is they give Tesla a higher value and they don't even have robots that can probably do this still. It's a joke. And they're giving them a multiple of hundreds. You know, it's incredible. So this is going to be very interesting. I would not be playing with the NEC Corporation if they're saying it does it from the 1990s and 1980s. These guys, they used to kick ass. So this is very, very interesting right here. They have an expert mode. No way. Come on, man. This thing is washing. No, taking dishes out of the dishwasher. Stop. 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 Holy smokes. This is getting crazy. Why invest into that? How big is that market? What problem is it solving? Oh, MDA 0214. What do you mean? What problem is it solving? What do you mean? That is the whole problem. Or not the whole, but not enough time, living paycheck to paycheck, working too many hours so people don't have to clean their house that take 2 hours or an hour and a half on the weekends or 3 hours, depending on how big your house is or whatever you do. I mean, that solves a lot, quite frankly, in my opinion. Because if you're thinking that, then why are people betting that Tesla's going to make robots for what then? I mean, they're giving hundreds and multiples for Tesla coming up with some fake robot that they got. But my point is, yeah, time is money. So you don't think somebody's not going to pay 20 grand to have a robot? Seriously? Especially when you can have credit? Come on. You know somebody's going to get this. And if these things actually work and you can actually program them and you can actually say, hey, make sure all my rooms are cleaned up somewhat. I don't know if they can make beds, but all I'm saying is, can you imagine vacuum, do dishes, or get dishes out of the dishwasher? I mean, this starts adding up. You start stacking. I don't know. Let me go check this out. MDA0214, welcome to the SSN Nation Midnight Halloween edition. Another investor's here. That's why he asked the question, what problem is it solving from a business standpoint? Because generally, that's what you like to see. Something that's going to be solved. Well, you know how it works when the internet came out? I mean, not the internet. I'm sorry. The computers came out. You know what people said? Desktop computers? They said it would never work. They said there's no way. What problem does it solve? And the rest is history. When the internet came out too, people said, oh, that'll never work. Nobody's going to actually sit there and do stuff on the internet. Every time people have been wrong when they think this way regarding technology. So you may say, what problem does it solve for your life? But there are millions and millions of people with money, credit, that have 8 hours, 10 hours, 12-hour day jobs, and they would love to not have to do something when they get home. What I'm waiting for, though, is the ultimate. You know what it's going to be like? Because here's one problem. I'm going to tell you one right now. So the thing is, it's still a robot. So you're still going to have the problem with kids, right? Knocking them over, right? But the point is, imagine your kids get home, robot's there, and you can do homework. The robot will be able to do homework with the kids and keep them entertained. Remember, there's other factors here. I'm with it myself. I'm with it. I'm with it. Okay. Show the video of the robot. Okay, I don't know if I can show it because here. Yeah, I guess I should put it on screen. Let me see if I'm hoping it'll show, because you know how this live stream works here. You know how they like to do us. But check this out. This is what's on their Neo website. So you guys can see for yourself what's happening. This is pretty good. What's happening? There we go. Yeah. So don't think small. And then when you say who's going to buy it, it's the same people that buy a freaking $200,000 car. You don't need it. It doesn't solve anything. It's only usually a two-seater. The same thing. There's no need. You can't really drive 150 miles an hour anywhere, but yet people still buy them. People still buy Teslas, right? I mean, let's get real. It's not solving any real world problems, but people feel that's the next thing. And people are willing to spend 50 grand, 100 grand on cars. It's incredible. But look at this. Look at this. This is interesting. I don't know if it can do it. I mean, this would be this would be awesome. This would be seriously awesome. This would be seriously awesome. This is incredible right here. No way. Okay. Okay. I better. This isn't good enough carrying some clothes around. Vacuuming. Okay. I can see that. I don't know how it's doing it, but here, this is what I saw earlier. I was like, wait a minute. He's taking dishes out the dishwasher? Now I know. And wait, closing the cabinets. All right, man. I don't know about all this. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible after all these years. You know, they slow rolling technology. So I could see that this could happen. This is awesome for me. Okay, I'm showing it, man. There you go. He goes, how many people will buy this? Do you think will buy it? 10,000 people in the world? Japan's not blocked. I'll be willing to bet you, I would not be surprised if the United States blocked them, even though it's Japan, though, so they probably won't block it. But I would expect at least 10,000 to 20,000 units sold this year if they were available for sale. If allowed, I'm pretty sure there's going to be countries that go, oh, no, we can't have these robots. And I'm pretty sure they're going to sell 10, 20, 30,000 in a year. Around the world, I'm referring to, not in the U.S. In the U.S., I would expect 5,000 to 10,000. I mean, seriously. Let me tell you. Here's one of the problems that, like I said, I think of kids' situations based on the fact that people have to pay for childcare X amount of dollars, right? And I'm not saying that you can leave kids like 8 years old home or whatever, but all I'm trying to say is at least you could start thinking of other factors down the line where you have security, protection, and things of this nature. Um, And if you have 20K, will you buy their robot or a Tesla robot? What about the people that don't believe in AI yet? We got millions of people. I mean, we're talking global. We're not talking about USA. In the USA, they're going to sell like 10,000 units. I would say, I'm guessing 5 to 10,000 units. Worldwide, probably 100,000 units. Especially if it really works. This is a question mark, right? We got to see some other video, right? We're going to have to see some video. This isn't good enough. We got to see video for this little NEC. This is their own video. We got to really see in real world what it does, because it can show anything, but we don't know if it bent down, picked it up, pushed some buttons. We don't know. But if it really does that, but here's the problem, MDA 0214. You as an investor should know above anybody else. Just because somebody gives you a narrative does not mean that that's the narrative. And the United States, what they're going to do, right? Because they don't want to compete anymore. We're a declining empire. In the old days, the United States would have had 5 companies, 10 companies. As soon as they found out about Neo's robot last year, they would have been on it. They would have said, oh, hell no, we ain't going to be left behind. We're going to lead this because we're going to make the money. We're a capitalist system. We don't have that anymore. We have blocking by our government, blocking like companies that are ahead of the United States. So our US companies that are less than get to stay in their place above other people, but not as good on the world stage. This is why when Tesla went to the Chinese robot place, the convention, they left theirs in a case. Again, showing weakness. In the old days, they would have been like, United States would have been like, oh, hell no, nobody's going to take us out. They would have had 3 or 4 companies out there showing the best. Now, we always had to give Japan back in the day their due because they used to come up with some awesome electronics. NEC is one of my favorite companies back in the 80s and 90s. But so that's why I'm excited to see what it really does. So, but remember, AI and all this stuff, it's the way of the world. This Amazon already has thousands of robots at their distribution centers. Have you guys seen the videos of what their robots are doing over there? They don't need people. Their robots are taking stuff off shelves, going to pick it up, putting it in boxes, sending it down the conveyor belt. They don't need anybody. And they can work 24/7 and go charge themselves. It's insane. Yeah, we're further along than people think. And the robot, the humanoid robot, this is just weirdly interesting. Imagine what happens when they're down to 10 grand and they actually work. And people come home and don't have to do anything. Their house is clean, their clothes is washed. I mean, and next, food prepared. That would even be that would be crazy. But they're already a company that has a robot fast food chain that is out, right? Just saying, anything is possible. Don't go and fall for the restrictions. Let's go. You can't compare a robot to a computer, especially when 80 to 90% can't afford it, and then others who don't want a robot. MDA 0214, let me ask you, how many units do you think they're going to sell? I'm going to ask you, how many you think, let's do it this way. As an investor, I'm not going to bypass it. I'm going to go check if it's worthy, and we got to find out about it. But let me ask you this: how many? You know what? How many units do you think Apple sold for their desktop computer? First year. You do know the story that they weren't going to be making another one, right? That's how little they sold. What they thought they were going to sell a whole bunch because, oh my God, it's desktop. We can print the Apple sold approximately 175 to 200 units its first year for Apple One. All right? Just so you know, because people were saying the same thing about the robot. They said, oh, nobody's ever going to buy those. It's never going to happen. Nah, never. So the internet, the desktop computer, live streaming that we're doing right now, people 30 years ago said would never happen. It would never be mainstream. The reason I know is because I told you guys before story night, I told you I used to be not in the XXX entertainment business as a performer entertainer. I was the person that was a geek. And I said, man, it's fascinating that people would pay just to talk to women. And then there was live streaming. That's right. In the 80s, the late 80s, when they would charge people, they would charge you like per minute for high-speed internet. You would have to put down deposits of 1,000 or two because of the bandwidth. They said that would never go mainstream. Well, the thing is, technology improves over time. So what they said would never happen, so might as well forget about it. It just blew up the whole industry and streaming. That's why Netflix messed up. I mean, not Netflix, Blockbuster messed up because Netflix in the 90s said, we can do streaming, man. They said, get out of here. We're not going to buy you. They gave them a lifeline. And so the rest is history. But you got to remember, this is how it all starts with naysayers saying, oh, not that many units are going to be sold. Okay, you're right. Because it's new. How many units did Coca-Cola sell the first year? Same thing. They could have packed up shop, but they didn't. So this is no different in my eyes. 20,000. This isn't 50,000. This isn't 75,000. This ain't 100,000. This is 20 grand. People spend 20 grand on all kinds of things. You don't have to worry about that. Here we go. The Jetsons are here. Exactly. That's exactly right. I agree. Let's go. That's the problem with most retail investors. They spread their money too thin, so most don't see a big return, and then they invest in the stuff that don't solve any problems. It's not about solving problems. Like I said, you're sounding just like the guys in 1975 when they said, oh, that desktop of Apple, nobody's ever going to buy it. Internet's never going to work. Nothing's ever going to happen. Well, 5 years later, 6 years later, it's happening. Meanwhile, by the way, I got to tell you guys something. When the pundits were saying the desktop Apple would not work, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to see if it shows it. So, do you guys believe in the late 1970s that there was an actual laptop that looked like luggage and the keyboard was on the top of it? I had one. That's what I used at my office. And yes, all that stuff you used to hear. That's right, it used it. Black and white screen. People couldn't believe it. I think it looked similar to this. Here it is, right here. Here it is. Apple had a desktop out. I have this sitting in my office back in the day, in the early 80s, and people said Apple wouldn't work, but yet I'm sitting in my office using a laptop and I'm carrying it in my car, and it was literally probably 2 feet by 1.5 feet, laptop on top. That's right. You could see some of these pictures This is pretty much what it looks like. Similar to this. I can't say for a fact, but this is definitely it right here. Two floppies, 7-inch black and white screen. That's right, two floppies, ladies and gentlemen. Laptop. That's what I used to use. Portable. And people would be like, oh my God, is this, you can really look at stuff on, it's like, I'm plugged into the internet. The internet? What are you talking about right now? I'm like, oh no, I'm a geek. I'm plugged in. Um, so how many units do you think they sold the first year or the second? But I had one. Um, some people said these same things you're saying now. Okay, let's go. Well, okay, let's say they sell 20,000. What's their gross margin? It's a piece of metal. What are we talking about? Computer technology. It's computerized. So we know already what AI. Put some AI in a couple $1,000 done. That's what I would think. I'm thinking 4 or 5 grand max, and I don't even think that because we don't know what the actual structure is made of. And think about this: if you have mass production, we know what happens. The price goes down. It always starts out high first, just like the first edition car that comes out. 2026 car. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg if you go down to the dealer and go buy it. Right? That's how it works with any product. It costs more when it's brand new. It goes down after it gets a lot of sales because you got to get back your R&D. Standard issue. But how many do you think they're going to sell is the question. Lots of love. Computers solve the problem. How fast is it to send an email compared to sending a letter through the mail? You can't compare the two of them. See, this is why you gotta know history. So I'll give you another example. You know, when early 1980s, when I have that laptop that people said there don't exist, people thought they didn't exist. They go, "You don't have a portable computer." I'm like, meet me at my office tomorrow. In fact, forget that. I'll just bring it home. I'll have it at my house. I'll come to your house. They're like, nah, that's not. It doesn't work like that. You can't send emails. What do you mean? Yes, I can. I can even log into TRW database. I could I'm showing people. They're like in shock. They're like looking at my little 7-inch screen. They're just like, I don't believe this. I said, I know, it's on the internet. You can do anything. And by the way, I can save stuff on these little floppy disks. They're like, are you for real right now? I said, and I can print it out on this little printer. Matrix dot printer. Let's see. That's what it was like. People were in disbelief. They're like, this is unreal. It'd be like a subject of like disbelief. People, and in the newspapers, they're saying the same thing. This doesn't mean nothing. This doesn't solve anything. This will never work. And I'm like, I'm sitting in my office pulling up people's credit reports and doing car deals. And I'm sitting there like, what do you mean it'll never work? It's working. What are you talking about right now? It's crazy. That's what they would say, just like the streaming. In the late 80s, people said, oh, you can't stream. There's too much bandwidth. We're streaming. Same thing. Nobody will ever do this. Meanwhile, thousands of dollars per month coming in because, people like seeing girls scantily clad or talking to them how I'm talking to you in the late 80s with a microphone, with a skirt on, and watching and paying per minute on their phone lines. It's a thing. And now here we are. We still have the biggest porn industries around, except now it's faster, quicker, but it's the same thing. And people said it would never work back then. I have several examples of things that people said never works. And it doesn't solve anything. This solves something that you don't see, but I guarantee you they're going to sell 5 grand. Nah, probably more than that. 10,000 worldwide. 20,000 is not that much. People spend 50 grand on a car and they're still buying those damn things. They spend 100,000 on cars, they're still buying those damn things. So why wouldn't they buy a robot at 20 grand? That's going to make your life easier if it's true. That's the thing. If it's true. Oh, you also forget in the 70s and 80s, what you forget is people said email was no good. Remember, you might not remember, people were against email. It was crazy. Didn't want to learn how to send emails to each other. It was just wild because anything new, people have these same things. Nobody will do that. Nobody will get that. And then ultimately later, people got it. It happened. It did. And some people made lots of money along the way. Others got left behind on the lots of money train. Like, for instance, when I was in this industry that had the laptops and people said it wouldn't work, and I told you guys it was in Vegas, they had a big warehouse, was the production. Everybody had their own like 10 by 10 rooms. Girls would come in from the strip clubs. They would put on their little outfits, and then people would call in $5 a minute or plug in on their laptop for the live stream at some, like, you had to have a membership, usually like $50 to $100 for membership, and then crazy $10 a minute or whatever it was. People paid, and that's what's the crazy part. People would be on the phone literally for an hour paying $5 to $10 per minute. Is that wild or what? People also said these cell phones, just a fad, wouldn't happen because they used to charge $5 per minute, $2.50 per minute, roaming charges. Not going to happen. It's not going to be mainstream. You best believe when the brick phone came out by Motorola, I'm portable. I didn't have a bag phone. I said, F the bag phone. People go, oh man, you can't get that brick phone. It ain't going to work. It only has 0.6 watts of power. You can't get anything. That's why you need that bag, because then you'll have 3 and you'll have the plug-in in the car. You'll have a battery backup, blah, 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 blah. The Motorola phone ain't going to work. I said, really? Okay. Not only will the Motorola phone work, how about this one? And they were like, are you kidding me right now? That's half the size of that Motorola brick phone. I said, I know, this is the latest one. They're like, it works? I said, yeah, let's call some people. They're like, man, you know it costs $2.50 a minute? I was like, does it? They're like, yeah. I said, no, not for me. They said, why? I said, I got a special deal. I can't remember what company it was at the time. I got unlimited minutes for, I think it was something like 50 minutes or 100 minutes. And then after that, things went $2.50, $3, whatever, in roaming charges. But then I had no roaming charges, which was major. So they made 2 sizes. The first brick phone was wide. The next brick phone was half. So I'm in my car driving around on my phone. People were like, no way. I said, yes way. People did say it'll never work. It'll never happen. It's no big deal. It's just a fad. I said, it's more than that. And by the way, I do business everywhere, so I need it. I don't really care. Have you seen? It's not all about how much they sell. Tesla sell a ton of cars worldwide, but they have very low gross profit because of COGS. Don't even use Tesla. That's why I don't really. Tesla has made people a lot of money, but it's nothing but a marketing gimmick, because he promises stuff from 2016, 2017, such as robots, robo-taxis. All this hasn't delivered for 7-8 years, always does these promos. And because he's a rich guy, people believe him and they keep buying his shares of stock based on the come. And then he gets his board of directors to give him hundreds of billions of dollars based on the stock price. So he's basically manipulating, saying we're going to have this, we're going to have that, but don't do nothing until years later, after the competition is caught up and had government protection. Just like right now to this day in the United States, they won't accept Chinese EVs because they're half the price. So therefore, they have to give them 100% increase to match the Tesla cars. The EU also gave them protection until last year when he started, or this year, till he started interfering in their government elections. So they said, F you, we're going to allow Chinese cars. That's why they can't sell as many cars, because they don't have protection anymore. There's a difference between an open market and not an open market. And he hasn't had competition. It's been blocked by the EU and the United States, the two biggest markets for EV vehicles, which is a shame because United States citizens are paying more for less. Capitalism. Back in the day, there wasn't any shirking of competition. If there was an EV, we were going to make the best. We didn't care about China, Japan, Taiwan, EU. We were like, we don't really care. Now we block competition. That's what America is. And that's why a USA empire is declining. And by the way, by getting rid of immigrants who actually help a lot of the technology, those immigrants aren't coming to America no more. So now we don't have the concentrated top dogs. The rest of the world has some of the top dogs, and they're staying. They ain't coming to help the United States. Now do you guys understand my disdain when somebody starts talking about we don't want immigrants, da da da. I'm like, how do you think we got to where we were? Because there were so many immigrants, but who took the credit was usually a corporation or some rich white dude. That's it. But what you don't know is immigrants came up with all kind of stuff that history books try to hide. So when you start thinking about why it's this right here, when you say, hey, they have caught, imagine if they actually had competition where the Chinese cars that are built for 30 grand was in our market. And that's after a markup of 25%, a tariff. They would have already been out. Can you imagine $30,000 cars that do the exact same thing that a Tesla does? Come on now, stop playing. The robo-taxis, he's over here talking about robo-taxis, where in China, they already have robo-taxis for years. Tap on the screen to put in your code to get in the car takes you wherever you want to go. This is crazy right now. And his company, Tesla's company, is getting a upside for robo-taxis. But imagine if they would have let the ones from China or Europe or anywhere else come into America market that sells for 40 grand or less. They would be done already. So he's trying to get a last push for his $1 trillion deal. We'll see. 5 people jailed in China just for moving USDT. See, this is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. China is now equal, or actually ahead of the United States. The only 2 countries in the world that have $5 trillion worth of a business is China and America. China is up and coming. America is going down. And we're putting debt into American citizens. It's bad. It's very bad. Trucker Trey, welcome to the SSN Nation Halloween edition. Another investor's here. He brings the word of the day. We need immigrants. Exactly. And now immigrants are scared to come here, and I can't blame them. Who in their freaking right mind in this environment? And now we lose the brightest minds in our country to help us. This is insanity. But you know what happens when you aren't not humble and you try to take, as a boss, you try to take all the credit when you know good and well somebody else did something. I know some of you had jobs. I had jobs before too. Don't be, I've had jobs. And in my jobs, I had other people ahead of me, right? I told you guys, some of you are new here. I'll give you another story. I used to work for Delta Dental in Sacramento. And at the time, I'm only like 24, 25. something like that. And but I'm a computer geek. I'm one of the best dudes. We have metrics. I'm number one, number two in all metrics. So when they call me in and they say, "Hey, Eric, we have a new computer system. You know how to do it, but our management team does not. Will you come up and get our management team up to speed?" Now, mind you, I'm not in management, but of course, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm a young gun, no problem. I'll handle it. They say, "Hey, and get two of people that you think is just as good as you to be in your little group." I said, "Fine." So, needless to say, I do it. I do it once, no problem. But, Delta Dental's a big company worldwide. They have other management that needs to come in. I did one hell of a job getting these guys, they understood things, got it down to their terms. Because remember, we're talking about computers, right? So not everybody was good with them. They were all, some people were still in denial. So they call me again. They say, "Hey, will you help us? We got more people, more management coming this time because you did a great job and we saw that you can handle." I'm like, "No problem." So a job opening comes for Puerto Rico. Now, I love Puerto Rico. And they have these requirements. And I'll give you an example because I can't really remember exactly. But let's just say the job starts in June of next year in Puerto Rico. They are offering the job on the board. Because of the requirements, I and another person qualify. But I'm not officially qualified because the time that I had to have worked there would have been, let's say, April of 2020, of the next year, 2026. So I'm sitting there going, well, the job doesn't start till then. I'll be qualified with vested time. And I'm number one, number two, and I'm the guy they're calling when management comes up. So what the hell? I'm putting in my app. The person that they hire, they ain't even in the top 15. So I'm like, what the frick's going on? I go in the office, HR, I go, "Hey, what's happening? Why did this other person get the job?" I'm like, they're not even, are you serious right now? And they say, "Oh, Eric, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The job starts in June, but it's going to be April before you come in with the time frame." I'm like, "Are you serious right now? So you're going to take this lame person over me?" I said, "You know what? I think next time you need help with any damn thing, you better call that fool. I know you're not, but don't call me," is the point. They were like, "What? What do you mean? We'll find something else for you next time." I said, "No, no, no. No. You can't find something for me next time because you hurt me now. From now on, you ain't got shit to say to me. Don't ask me for shit." They're like, "Oh, it's like that." I said, "It's like that. No problem. Fine. Let me get back to my desk and get to work." So these guys are like, so I don't play like how most people play. I'm just like, yeah, I know I got skills. I'm not sitting around. You say, "Hey, Eric, you ain't good enough," then don't call me for nothing. All right, it's simple. That is what we got going on here in America. Merit based, right? Not really. All right, let's go. Let's go. Lots of love. You're proving my point. Sales don't mean anything. So why invest in a company if you don't even know their gross margin? I just found out about them and see Fujitsu been killing them financially. NEC's been getting killed financially probably for the last 25 years, I would imagine. They used to be big time. Um, but it doesn't matter on what I believe or you believe. You can invest wherever you want to invest in Fujitsu if you want. I'm partially NEC. because I used to have NEC products. And of course, I haven't checked them out. But I'm going to tell you one other thing. According to what you just said, you know, Tesla never made no money for the first, 2003 to 2021 or something. You know, they never made profit, right? But yet people still invested, right? So I'm just saying, what point are you talking about? That's not how it works. Beijing court sentenced 5 individuals to prison for illegal USDT transaction. The group converted RMB to USDT and moved it abroad, bypassing China's strict forex controls. Hey, China's still a communist country, even though they use capitalism to make more. Don't be fooled. That's an authoritarian regime. That's what this Trump regime's trying to do. Make sure that the people that don't have money aren't able to do anything. This is why I'm telling you guys, you need offshore banking account, offshore businesses, offshore something. So if anything happens, you always have the ability. This would have never happened. You wouldn't have done some dumbass stuff like this. You would have just said, hey, I need to go across the border. That's it. And let me go get my RMB, turn it into USDT, and I keep my cold wallet. Done. But no, VPNs may be hard to find and all that too. But all I'm saying is, this is exactly what is expected, right? I told you guys this a long time ago when I first started the channel, that in 6 years ago, there's in China, if you do a traffic ticket, they automatically take the money out of your bank account. This is a thing already. They're not letting you have freedom. Are you serious right now? This is this is not going to happen. They are capitalists as long as the government is making the money also. They're not just going to let people just do whatever they want in that system. In our system, it's starting to be that way under this regime, which is scary. And people are doing rah, going with it. I'm just like, do you not understand where this goes? Your passport gets shut off, which is what they've done to people. And I'm not talking about criminals. I'm talking about people getting their passports revoked because they wrote something on social media bad against the government. See, so if you're not already tripping, okay, fine. But I'm telling you already, we've been telling you what's going to happen, and it's just going to get worse. All right. But anyhow, that's the laptop, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this off the screen. All right. Let's go. Whoa. What's this? No. The news, Netflix announces 10-for-1 stock split. I don't like that. Wait. Do we like that? 1 for 10. 10 for 1. Is this a 10-to-1 or a 10-for-1? There you go. Racism is expensive. Exactly. And that's why you have a declining empire, because of it. Because that's what made America great at one time, technology wise, is because even with the racism, you still had exceptional people still coming here helping the government. Now the government says we don't need help anymore. We're just going to have the dumb ones control everything. Yeah, I'm gonna have my passport jacked. I already know. Heinz Ketchup rival files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That's exactly right. You know how many bankruptcies are being filed right now? This is out of control. AI guided robots are stepping into construction as 40 trillion gap grows. Again, everything's playing out according to plan, just like when I told you guys tariffs is not good. That's a contraction. That means we're going to have problems. AI to the rescue? Yeeks. That means people won't have jobs, which is what's happening, right? This is terrible. This is very, very, very bad because the government is not replacing it with any. There's no infrastructure. They just shut off the funds for infrastructure. So all those green energy infrastructure jobs, all the infrastructure, all that stuff shut off, which were millions of jobs to come. And instead, we're going with nobody's here today. Okay, you can't compare them to. Come on, man. Tesla's smoking mirrors from the get go. And what part of protected don't you get? There's never been competition. They got lucky because they got subsidies from since the inception. Musk has like $40 billion between all of his companies. I think if you got $40 billion for freaking 20 years, you'd be fine too. And you have government protection for competition coming into your territory and allowing you to have your systems in place while nobody else can do it. Come on, man. Stop. Stop. This is not even the same. It's their name and government that keeps them up. And according to Google, Fujitsu is bigger name in Japan. Just saying, do real analysis before you buy. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just like NEC, man. I don't know what the analysis is. I just found out about this robot like 45 minutes ago, courtesy of Mr. Dividend. Now, ultimately, if I'm investing in robots, of course, we got to start looking at many different things. I'm just saying this is an opportunity at $17.50. I feel, regardless of the competition, but we'll find out because Fujitsu is pretty sweet too. All right, don't get it twisted. But here's the thing: they have competition, right? Iron sharpens iron. A race to the top, just like old times. America's not in it unless you feel Tesla robots can do something. But even then, who cares? That's only one. Again, no competition. Can you even? Hold on, let me check out something. Can you even get Neo robot in USA? What do you guys think the answer is? Do you think it's a yes or a no? Let's go find out. Japan is allegedly an ally, right? Yes. You can get a Neo robot in USA, but only for pre-order for delivery starting 2026. And guess what? Oh my goodness. I believe I will see at least 50,000 robots in America. Why? Get this, $200 deposit now, $4.99 a month subscription later. Interesting. Interesting. This is going to be interesting. No, I'm just messing with you. I don't know how many they're going to sell, but let's just say 5,000. 5,000 of these things will sell. It all depends actually what it really does. I'm watching this thing do gardening in some other video. This is crazy right now. They're out there watering the plants. Sheesh. This is sick. I love it, especially if it can actually walk around. But there's going to be I think the first one's obviously going to cost the most. 20 grand is not that much in today's environment. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I don't see how they're not going to sell at least 5 grand of these things. So that means we won't even see one until sometime in 2026, which gives them a whole nother year to improve what they have already. And as soon as you have AI, yeah, they're using artificial intelligence. That means it can learn. And by the way, a humanoid robot created by 1X, an artificial intelligence and robotics company based in Palo Alto, Stanford. Interesting. It doesn't say Stanford, but Palo Alto, California is where the Stanford University is. The robot became available for pre-order on October 28th for $20,000 for those who want to own it, and $4.99 a month for anyone who wants to try it out through 1X's subscription option. Oh, that's beautiful. You don't think somebody's not going to pay $500 a month? That ups the sales. By the way, I love what MDA is saying, but I love this. Who would have thought somebody would pay $1,700 to $2,000 for a cell phone? I'm just asking. 10% of what the robot costs, people are paying for a device that outside of the United States costs half the price. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy stuff out here. You never know what somebody's going to buy. FBI arrests 14 current former law enforcement officials in the drug trafficking takedown Memphis among alleged destination for drug transports. Of course, of course, of course. This is the whole point. But it depends. They might get pardoned. I'm just saying. Just like the guy they got the Homeland guy, they got $50,000 bag as a bribe of cash, and they don't do nothing about it. But now they're going to worry about other people. Fair enough, but if you're not going to do anything to the one guy that's on film and caught red-handed taking a bribe, cash, and then you say, "Oh, no big deal." I mean, Jesus, what are we going to here in America? Again, our empire goes down when there's no rules, no laws, and you're blocking competition. That means you're going down. It's that simple. We don't have a bullet train in America. How sickening is that? But yet, we spend $1 trillion on ICE. That does not help anybody. Just saying. We owe $1 trillion a year in interest-only payments for our debt, and now our debt went up $2 trillion. So that's not helping nobody. This is wild what we're using money for that helps nobody. It's insane. Trillions. It's insane. That means, ladies and gentlemen, you better start worrying. So anyhow, I gave you, did I put Tracy.sharpe in there for your debt resolution? Let me see who I put in last. No, I put in NECPY. Let's go see. LTD. Did he say? Hold on. I didn't see that. Let me see and make sure I put in Tracy, because we got to get you guys right. I'm going to get off here because I got a video to make. The Larimar video, and it's Halloween out here too. All right, so I put this in so you guys double check on all that. Get your debt resolution in order. RIP, former New Birth and LTD lead singer Leslie Wilson. Oh my, sorry to hear that. I've seen LTD in concert. Again, the old oldies but goodies. When they used to have their band and they performed and they would do dance steps and interact with the audience, a lost art. Those guys were all class act. Jeffrey Osborne became the new lead singer. Saw him with them. Rose Royce, and a whole slew of others. The Spinners. I mean, these guys were class acts. Had their nice costume changes and suits and ties and all kind of great stuff. Great stuff. Real band, real music, no digital. Great stuff. Sorry to hear about him, though. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we had a good night. A rousing talk about the robot from MDA 0214. I appreciate that conversation. I don't know if but okay, I'm partial to NEC regardless, sight unseen. I'll just get a few shares sight unseen. Let's just put it that way. For $17.50, I'll get a few shares sight unseen. And they already have a subscription model, which means they have money making, just like Microsoft is charging people for Windows and whatever else on a subscription basis, right? Everybody's going to that model ever since the early 2000s. And that's why streaming does it, Paramount and all these guys. So, it's what it is. I think somebody's going to pay $500 a month easily. If people are going to pay $1,000 a month for a car, they're going to pay $500 a month for a robot. And you know how it always works. The first person on the block, right? And then the neighbors are like, hey, I think they're going to sell 5,000 of them. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be more than 5,000 people that's going to register, but I think 5,000 to 10,000 surely is going to be delivered by a year from now. So I think that's the number. We'll find out. You guys, this is October 31st, 2025. Maybe somebody will come back to this video and say, hey, you were right. It's a year later. They sold 5,000 to 10,000, or maybe it's a surprise. They sold 20,000. We don't know. The capabilities could be endless, but we'll find out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. Stay tuned over the weekend. I'm dropping Larimar City and Resort based on Jamie Gruber video that he dropped with Daniel Malky. So part 1, part 2 tomorrow, 3, 4 on Sunday, part 5 on Monday. And I want to hear from you guys. All right. Read the financial reviews before you invest. When building, don't be diversified. You make more taking your time putting in one stock. Yeah, I'll look at other factors to see in that market because I'm not in that market at all. So I'm going to find out more and see what's going on with that robot market. But it's going to be very, very interesting because I'm sure on YouTube I'll be able to find an actual real video, not by a corporation, because I can't rely on a corporation. How many of you saw that Tesla robo-taxi nonsense at a movie studio? And knowing people are walking around with robots and they're using people's voices to sound like a robot and all that nonsense. I mean, come on. That was wild. So you never can trust it unless it's out in the wild. Okay, so we'll find out if this is even legitimate, you know. But there are people that buy $10,000 dolls, humanoid dolls. Just saying. So you don't think somebody's going to buy a $20,000 not a humanoid sex doll? Just saying. That market is already existing in reality for a sexual product. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put it in. Robot sex dolls been sold in the world. I mean, dysfunctional is enough, but 56,000 sex robots are sold per year worldwide. Does that answer your question? And you don't think these are going to sell? Come on, man. 56,000 a year. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Abus Creation Real Dolls ship around 600 dolls annually. This is crazy. So, again, you wouldn't have guessed that they would have sold that many either, right? So clearly they're going to sell. Oh, by the way, how much do they cost? I think they're like 10 G's or something, probably. Let's see. Let's see. They don't say. It says it's difficult. They're calling it the sex bot. That's funny. Up to $12,000. So I guess it depends. $3,000 to $12,000 for a sex bot. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So that explains there's always a market for something. All right. Martin Shkreli always doing live analysis on his YouTube page. Live tune in. I don't like Martin Shkreli. That's the dude that increased the price for a life-saving drug because he could and is laughing about it. He's off the list, man. He's a effed up human. People are dying and he's laughing because of him. I'm not with that. So, yeah, he might be analysis, whatever, but I ain't giving him zero support. Just letting you know, man. I don't really care. He's a bad human, in my opinion. So, I'm not with that. Just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap this up. It's been wonderful conversation about this robots because I think this has a future. And now knowing that the sex bot actually has 50 some thousand units sold a year, I know for a fact it's not. My 5,000 estimate is way too low. It's gonna be double 5 digits. I don't know if it's gonna be 10,000 or 20,000, but it's definitely gonna be more than 10,000 after seeing set boxer. That's insane. All right. So now all you need is a sex bot that actually does the work, right? That's coming, I guess. This is insane. All right. Don't put anything past anybody. I'm telling you, the sex industry is very, very interesting. That's why I had to check it out. And I was like, my God. Nah, because you can't tell me how much it costs to make them. What's their cash flow? What's their debt? We don't know. I don't know. The 12,000, the 3,000 to $12,000 is the sex bots. They've sold 56,000 of them worldwide. This other thing's not a sex bot, but an actual worker, allegedly. Clearly, okay. Do you first of all think it costs 15,000 to make these things? I don't. 10,000 probably is computerized, right? Now we got to figure out the movement mechanics of it. But again, I'm not thinking. I'm thinking they're doing the usual 100% markup. That's what I think. 50% of the price is probably how much it costs to make. Is what I think. I mean, you'd have to be crazy not to do that. So if you base it on common sense, 10,000 per. Now, does that mean you still make a profit? Who cares? Um, Most companies first year don't make profits. Like I said, there's lots of companies that don't make profits for a few years because they have another side to their business or they have investors. NEC is no different. They're on the stock. They have ADRs, obviously, but they also have over the counter. So they have monies that they're going to have, and people will buy their stocks. That's why their all time high is now $17.50, 52-week high. So they're going to get the money, and people are going to give them loans. That's for sure, right? You're going to have investors because investors that make robots or companies that don't make robots, they're going to give them money. Let me go see something right now. So they're going to be able to run this, just like just like Tesla. Uh, Watch which companies have invested in NEC Robotics because I don't know what they're officially called. I'll be willing to bet you somebody's put their money in so they can operate, right? It's NEC Orchestrating Future Fund, NOFF. Okay, that's cute. Let's see. We don't have any investors so far. Oh, Mitsubishi. There we go. Is one. Formic Technologies is another. I don't know these companies. SVG, but they're in Japan, obviously. Sakani AI, Swap Mobility, all these companies. But the main one, Mitsubishi, matters. And Lux Capital, all those matter, but they're usually Japanese on the Asian side. But they have money. So the race is on. The race is on. So I guess now Tesla gets to either put up or shut up or any other American company, right? So now what? So here we go. So protectionism, apparently you can buy it in America. So again, Japan's our ally, so they're allowing it in. And why do you think the price is 20 grand? There's going to be a tariff on there too, right? To make it higher, to protect which companies in USA that makes robotics. Let's go look. I'm curious. I'm very curious. US robot companies. Here we go. Boston Dynamics. By the way, iRobots, they're talking about going bankrupt. Industrial models starting around 25,000 and advanced humanoid robots ranging from 16,000 to 100,000. Okay, they definitely have a tariff, but if they're going to sell them for 20 grand, that's pretty damn good. It looks like it's within the bottom of the range based on US robot companies. There you go. So do you really think somebody's going to pay 100,000 for one or 90,000 or 50,000 for a US one? There you go. They're not I'm just saying industrial motors starting at 25 grand. So people are already spending 25 grand for robots here for United States. So these guys are not even over, they're below what everybody else is doing. 20,000. Cool. All right. So it's already started, man. It's already happening. What makes him bad? I said because he bought it. Here, I'll tell you exactly. Here, we'll do it this way. What's his name? Martin. Yeah, that Martin Scarelli cat. The price, I can't remember what it was. Was it insulin? I can't remember. But anyhow, it was insulin. And in 2015, he increased the price of an antiparasitic drug, Daraprin, by 5,000% from $1,350 to $750 per pill. People needed that to survive. So people were dying, and he's over there laughing about it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not cool. Not cool, man. And by the way, laughing about it when people were like, I can't afford, who could afford $750 per pill? Knowing full well people are going to die. That's crazy. So, anyhow, he's still a jerk. He's still an asshole. And he's still laughing about it, acting like it's no big deal. And he's still a rich dude. So, I ain't rocking with him. Do more research doing it. What do you mean? You need to do more research. I don't. A dude laughing about killing people is not, that's enough research for me. You ain't getting no support from me for life. I don't really give a shit. And even if I saw him in his, he came up to me, or I saw him somewhere at a party or something, and he just so happened to be there, I'm still going to say he's a fucking asshole. I don't really give a fuck. Those type of people I despise. What do you mean do more research? $13.50 per pill, and he said 5,750, and then laughing about, oh, well, if they can't afford it, then I guess they're gonna die. Ha 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 ha. So what? That part. So what? Who cares? Do it. Stop. You ain't talking to me about nothing after that. So that's it. Do more. No, you better do more. That dude ain't talking. I don't have nothing to do with these clowns. This is another reason why, again, I'm not unapologetic. This is why I ain't rocking with no white supremacists like Trump and all them guys either. It ain't happening. You ain't going to have people telling me in Atlantic City when he rolls up, he's telling the people of color, hey, I don't want to see these dudes. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? They're like, yeah, man. And then these people act like they got to rock with him. So wait, not the story? What do you mean, not the story? Oh, man, come on, man. Stop. Ay, 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 ay. I don't really care, man. You like to do, that's your business. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Not happening. Not happening. People with AIDS actually like me during a live stream and stated that his investors expected him to maximize profits. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't need to look any further. And he was on TV laughing about it. So I'm not, okay, well, you can do whatever you want. Play the video. I don't know if there's a video. There's got to be a video, right? Let's go play the video. We'll do it on Monday. We'll do it on Monday. How about that? Oh, by the way, no regrets either. I'll play that video since it came up. I think. Let's see what he does. Hold on. Let me see if I. Hold on. This dude, man, stop. Here we go. Everybody can go to this one. He's on TV. Let's see if he's laughing about on this one. I don't know. I'm not going to get to play it, am I? But let's do it. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Wait, where is it? Hold up. Let's go. I'm game. Like I said, he's not on any. I ain't effing with this dude. Okay. Let's see if you guys can hear this or not. I'll see if I can play it. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna play it. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 2016.
To become a target for unwarranted, I think,
the way
faster, I think, from the perspective charges sluggish and bullyish.
that. We can't get past the first part before we get past that part. You try to kill people and then come back and give me a rationalization for killing people is ridiculous. That's the Roman Empire. That's white supremacy. That's Europeans coming to America telling somebody has thousands of years of history, telling them you're on my land. And then I'm going to kill you. That's what you're talking about here, man. Come on. Stop playing out here. Jesus. That's insane. Anyhow, I'm about to get riled up. You guys know how I get riled up. So I have some receipts of him laughing, which doesn't matter to you because he made money apparently, but people died. So it's all good. I'm sorry. I'm not down with that. I'm not down with assholes like that, man. He ain't trying to make things better for people. Then you ain't gonna get me with you charge people $20,000 for something that cost $400 previously, and you're laughing and all good with it, talking about it's an investment strategy. And then he's on TV because he's a rich dude, and they're treating him like he's a rich dude that doesn't care about people dying for his BS. You can miss me with all that, man. That ain't happening for me. I like humanity. I think humans are valuable. I don't think they're invaluable. I think they're valuable, regardless if they're ill, regardless if they're sick. But I'll be damned, somebody's sick and potentially dying, and then they're going to go, oh, just like what we have right now with the GOP party trying to cut SNAP. 42 million people are on SNAP. Thank God 2 judges said, hey, you got to pay. You got to make sure these 42 million people get food assistance. Can you imagine? That's why I can't rock with them. They're just like, oh, yeah, people don't get food in America. We're the richest country in the world, yada, 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 whatever the F. People are dying, and then it took judges, and we don't even know if they're still going to release the money tomorrow, November 1st. Think about that. Medicaid, Medicare getting cut $1 trillion. 15 to 20 million people can't get Medicaid. Hospitals are closing in rural areas. People are dying. And people want to rock with them guys. And they're sitting there laughing. Haha, ain't going to happen. You're lying. I'm just like, nah, I ain't rocking with people like this, man. They're the same people that'll sling me up on a chain and tell them that they were scared for their life. Stop playing out here, man. People out here playing. They're out here playing ridiculously. People are doing things to hurt other humans, and they're going rah, rah. People are in nursing homes as we speak, not knowing tomorrow or next week if they're going to be kicked out on the street without care. And people are, oh, they're all right. It's the Democrats' problem, their fault. I'm like, no, you're the guys trying to take it away. What are you talking about? They're the ones not wanting to rock with you. How is it their fault? This is silliness. And there's people that's rah, rah. It's the other people doing it. Meanwhile, these guys are the ones that have the bills trying to take that stuff away from over 70 million people could be affected if Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP are taken away. And all that means is people go hungry, sick, dying, nowhere to go. So that means who's going to take care of them? What are you going to do? Put them in jail? What? Now you have a whole nother thing that's going to happen. Nowhere to go, no place to live, on the streets. And now taxpayers are going to pay for what? Them being in jail, just like the homeless in DC. That's a business deal. Come on, man. That's insanity. Now you know why somebody can go bankrupt 6 times. I'm sorry. Enough. I'll see you guys on Monday night. It's Halloween night. It's scary out here because our government in the United States is doing scary things to people. And you never know about humanity and what choices they're going to make. But you do know one thing. The USA Empire is scratching on walls. Oh, I'm not ready to give up the crown. But they're going to give up the crown by default because your citizens can't live paycheck to paycheck forever. And then you expect to extract taxes from them. And you expect them also to buy goods and services from your corporations. The two don't happen at the same time. That's why there's going to be less revenues. If taxpayers don't have money, then game over. Or you just print more money, become a third world country. It's very simple. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Scary out here. But one thing, I'll see you on Monday, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. It was stirring conversation tonight on all fronts. I welcome that all the time. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. You actively can see it when you go shopping, when you pay your energy bills. You're sitting, I'm not even at a house right now. My energy bills are somehow $200 a month between gas and electric with no well, a small amount because you have a fridge. I mean, I mean, and and you have a water heater, and my bills are $200 a month. This is insane. Nobody's home. Month after month, nobody's there. It's crazy right now what we're dealing with out here. I go to the food store. My friend goes and gets some steak or looks at some steak or beef or something. They start putting this thing like their hands like in a 6-7 inch circle. They said, I went to the store and I can't believe this steak, this size, was $75. I was like, what are you talking about right now? What are you saying? That's like 3-4 pounds or 5 pounds or something? What do you? They're like, exactly. It was $75. And I'm sitting there like, that only looks like 6 inches round you're talking about. They're like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I was in shock. I was like, that's crazy right now. So again, whatever you guys decide to do, you better figure out the protection from building wealth. It's going to stall. And when it stalls for the wealthy overall, it stalls for you too. Because what comes down is banks, your accounts get wiped out, your equities and certain things can get wiped out, just like the Great Recession, just like the Great Depression, and a few other great recessions we've had over the years. Things can happen that changes your life indefinitely. So make sure you have everything that you can do to figure out the passive incomes. If the stock market doesn't exist, then what? Is crypto going to save you? Unlikely. What other choices do you have? If business is going down, stocks are going down, investments are going down, then what other choices? You better have a skill set. Remember when we were talking about trading? That's one that you could possibly do because that's dependent on you and it's based on the stock market. So we'll talk about that. We still haven't started the Candle Bible yet, but we'll do that after next week, Monday. I'll probably be doing videos Monday, I'm going to do the other video. So Tuesday starts the Candle Bible. So we'll get into the investments, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So stay tuned. And again, be safe out here, especially tonight. I hope it's most people are probably in at a party and safe somewhere. Make sure you stay safe all the time. People under stress and duress, especially tomorrow. They don't know if they're going to get checks. Right. And people watching this right now, you might have anxiety and you don't know if you're getting checks. And we know if anybody is on their Snap, we know good and well, you can't buy $1,000 for the month. Let's get real. You know, you're only limited to certain few hundred, and that's supposed to take care of children and families and whatever who are disabled and this, that, and the other, knowing full well that 3 bags of groceries is now over $100, right? And some of these people are only getting $100 for the month, all right? $150 for the month. So this is very serious, quite frankly. So just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys on Monday. Check all the videos dropping tomorrow. Larimar City and Resort using Jamie Gruber's video. Oh, yes, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a copyright strike. You know how this goes. When you say good things, I say a few good things. Then you say some bad things. People always hear the bad things. And by the way, bad things do affect sales potentially. But then again, since we're talking about it, they might get a few sales too, because it is going to be built, right? We know it's going to be built. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good night. It's too late. I'm going to go relax. The wife made some awesome peach cobbler. Oof. And blueberry cobbler. Oh, and soup to die for. Oh, that's right. I got to go eat. I'll see you guys later. Make sure I see you on Monday, and we got more to talk about, especially about this robot, because I got to find out a little bit more about this, if this is legitimate or not, because this would be awesome. All right, let's wrap this up. I'll see you guys. And once again, just make sure no matter what, keep your head up, keep moving,